final piece to the puzzle. Make these things fit. Righty, just to wrap a bit more context into this video, the body shop I work at in Invercargill here, we've had these 3D printed. I'd like to do a couple of little tweaks on them if anybody ever wants any. I don't even know what these bloody things are called. They're like a louver side trim to the type piece on a Valiant Charger. Like, you can't even. We've hunted and hunted and hunted all over the internet to see if somebody makes them. We had the originals, but they had been butchered and just filled, whereas they're meant to have like a nice little, just like body edge around them. And I don't know if they were originally glued in or screwed in from the back or what originally. I'm not sure. I had a Charger. I think I explained that in the video a little bit. I'm just going to add this piece in because I quickly took this video, or a couple of clips, when I was fitting one. But yeah, like, I had a Charger, but it had a steel piece in here, and then it had like a vinyl trim that goes around there. So I never knew. It screwed in with 4 screws, 2 here and 2 here, that screwed into the bodywork, I think, from memory. I can probably find a picture on the internet if I really had to. But yeah, nobody seems to remake these. For what reason, I don't know. But yeah, unfortunately, these particular pair, they were still reasonably complete, but all the edges have been all ground off, and there was no front edge on them. I don't even know that there's meant to be a front edge, but from all the photos I could see, when the rubber sits in there, there was an edge. So they 3D printed a rough one, and I fiberglass filled in what we needed to, and made it work. And then they made us a better print. The only thing I would like to do is move this louvering forward a little bit on the print, and just make this edge, the edge piece, which we could trim a bit. What should I trim back on this? Just a wee bit thicker. It's just a little light. I actually put some new tech type filler in around behind it with my finger, and just reinforced a little bit, and it made it quite strong. But if the print was just made just a little bit thicker, it's a bit thin, I think it would make all the difference. But yeah, I don't know, it's just, I'm not sure exactly how the originals were, but it looks like they were just glued in, but that's how they were on this car. But I didn't pull them off either. I come into this car late in the stage and got all the front end fitting and done some repairs to the floor, and just went back over the bodywork that had been already done on the main part of the body, and just fixed and tuned in some things. It looks pretty good now. This is about to go to paint next week, basically. So I just spent the last part of yesterday. We got these about lunchtime. I spent the last part of yesterday just making these fit, and just doing a little bit of trimming, and then whatever, you know what I mean. Just spend a bit of time fine tuning them to get to fit nice, and then hopefully blow a bit of paint in behind, and then obviously these will be primed and sanded and whatever, and made look good. And then once a bit of paint's in behind, they can be glued in. At least the panel behind will be sealed, just to help stop water, because the water will run in behind it. It's kind of inevitable, if you know what I mean. And then it'll be panel painted on. But at least if the water can get in and out, and it's painted in there, it's at least sealed. Yeah, I don't know how else you would do it, because you can't really seal around it, if you know what I mean, because otherwise you just end up with the look that it was. It's meant to have like a body line, just like a very fine line around it. I'll pull up some photos of all the ones that I've seen restored or that are in good nick, all the ones I've seen that, in person over the years that have had that panel on. in good nick. We were all like that, but there's a few floating around that were fudged in, if you know what I mean. Obviously the person didn't know what they were doing and made a mess that did the bodywork in this car previously a long time ago. I don't know, probably back in the early 2000s or maybe the late 90s or something like that. The guys, I know who the person is, and they did it quite a long time ago, but yeah, it wasn't very well done. But anyway, I'll carry on with the rest of this clip. It's just mainly how to turn this down, just a quick idea of how to trim this down. If you did ever buy some, if you wanted some, we could get them printed and send them to you, like obviously whether it's here in New Zealand or Australia or whatever, but yeah, it wouldn't be too difficult. We can get heaps more printed now that we've got the model. Yeah, and I would just do those couple of little subtle changes just to get this louver in a better position. It's slightly better position. It needs to come here probably only a quarter of an inch or so, or about 5mm. It's just, it would look a little better. But anyway, we'll carry on. Thanks for watching. Right, might do a quickly video on these here. Here's some 3D vent, they're like a fake vent that these Valiant Chargers come with. Not all of them, but most of them, or a lot of them come with these vents, but these are some 3D printed ones, and we got these made bigger. They had like quite a bit of excess out the sides. I've got a couple of pictures. So what I did so you can get this shape, laid some tape on here, and then put these in here, held them down with obviously that masking tape to where they fit in, and then laid tape in against the here so I could cut that excess off. And what I'm going to do now is lay another piece of that wide masking tape down here, follow this line around here, and then draw a reference point on there, which I've still got on here, lay that over top against that edge where it would lay here, and trace it around, and then I can do the final little bit of sanding and shaping and whatever. And I've had to, they've printed these a little thin. If we do get them to print some more, we'll get them to print that edge a little thicker, just so it's a little stronger. But what I've done is I put a little bit of glass, like that New-Tech type filler, just around the edge, just to beef it up. And the other one, I'll show you what I mean, because I split one when I was trying to sand it up. I just did that to make them a little bit stronger, just to give them a little bit extra guts, and just pushed it into the edge with my finger, and just laid some masking tape around it, and then just mixed up some of that and just laid it around there. And because I split this one, so I just reinforced all the rest of it as well, and I just did put a little more in here. This one fits in here. I've just got to trim this back again. So they fit in there, and then the window rubber fits up against there on this. But yeah, we had to get these made. Unfortunately, we had the originals, but they had been bogged into the car and there's no edging. So yeah. So we got some made and try and make them look correct, I guess you would call it. So yeah, we know that, so we can get more of these printed off if anybody wants them here in New Zealand and Australia, and I guess wherever else, because we couldn't buy them. So unfortunately we had the originals, and we got them to make a test print, and then I made it fit and did the extra stuff where it comes around the edge and whatever, because all the other ones have been cut off and they've just been filled up with body filler. This had quite a lot of work done to it. This car, I didn't do a lot of it, but I've finished it. Yeah, but they've just been all bogged in, and they were just flat. There was no seams. It just had the things where it meant to be like a little edge around there, like a body panel gap, like a fine panel gap. No, but like this sort of thing. Just meant to be like a little fine panel gap around there, from what I can tell on other photos. I had one of these years ago, but it just actually had the flat piece in here and had the vinyl, had a vinyl trim thing that went come down here, and then onto the front doors that stopped here, had like a little vinyl trim, and it just come up and covered this, and it just had like a metal piece in here that was screwed in from the back, or whatever it was screwed in from the front. So yeah, we had to recreate these from a set of originals that had been butchered. So yeah, that's how I've made them fit. So I'll do my final little piece now. So this is what I'm doing with this back edge piece. Just laid a piece of tape up against the green line, which is where this one laid over. So when I obviously covered that, I could see where it went out. So I laid a piece of tape down there, obviously, and then we trimmed it off up to here. Now I can pull this off here. Try and show you one-handed if I can. Now I can pull this off here and lay this on here with my reference mark, but I had to do one-handed. And now I can come up and I'll do this with one hand or two hands in a minute, but you kind of get the idea. I can lay it over the top and get my line lined up better, and I can trim this off, and then we can really final sand these and trim them back until they fit in. So they just fit in this edge, and then they'll be ready to be primed and bodyworked. And this will be sprayed colour in here, and then it'll be glued on. I don't know how they originally attached, I'm not sure, but we're just going to panel bond them in or something like that, and then the whole car will be painted. We'll blow a bit of colour in here when they do the door shuts and stuff. I think a lot of our panels have been coloured up on the inside. So yeah, we'll blow a bit of paint in here, obviously around the door jambs and whatever, probably the engine bay, and then we can glue all these pieces in and put all the doors on and everything, and that'll be painted on the outside, and it'll have its final block ready to go.